Guys, we are back with Grammy Award-winning jazz pianist Robert Glasper.
Hello.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Listen, first and foremost, I want to talk to you a little bit about being out here in Austin. How's Austin treating you so far?
Oh, it's treating me well. I got in today, but I've been coming to Austin for years because I'm actually from Houston, Texas.
Yes, you're a Texas boy, yep.
I'm a Texas boy, so I went to University of Texas Jazz Camp when I was in high school, and I also I went to University of Jazz Camp University of Jazz Camp. University of, maybe you start over.
No, you're good. You're good.
Went to University of Texas Jazz Camp when I was in high school, and then I've been out here for South by Southwest so many years.
Yeah.
So it's like home.
I love that. As somebody who is from Texas, being out here in Austin, you said it feels like home. How are you preparing for this ACL performance?
Oh, just being me. I feel like I'm at the house. So, it's just going to go out there and make sure I rock the crowd.
Yeah.
That's it. When you come out and do these kind of festivals, you have to have energy, you know what I mean? And come out and really try to perform and give them something to, be hype about.
Right. No, definitely. I think a lot of people who are especially new to Texas or new to Austin, they think of country music when they think of the music scene out here.
Right.
But obviously, there's so much more to it. And I love that artists like you are out here bringing a whole different vibe and a whole different flavor.
Absolutely.
When someone walks past your stage when you're performing, what do you hope they learn about you?
I hope they are a little bit confused because, in my set, you're going to hear a little bit of rock. You're going to hear a little bit of jazz. You're going to hear a little bit of hip-hop and a little bit of R&B. It's going to be like a mixture of all four. So I want them to stop and be like, oh, wait a minute, what's happening here? You know what I mean? Try to figure it out.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that so much. Tell me a little bit about just kind of working on your latest project. And it kind of completes the trilogy almost, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit, walk me through how that came together. There are lots of collabs on it, similar to the other two projects.
Absolutely.
But tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this album's called Black Radio 3, and actually next week on the 14th of October, we're going to release the extended version of that called Supreme. So it's going to have like 7 or 8 extra songs on it.
Yeah.
And this one was different because normally on my collaborative albums, I get in the studio with all the guests. I'm able to be in the studio and figure out and work out the songs. This time it was during COVID, so I purposely did it during COVID. I wasn't going to do a third one, but because it was COVID and my fans were really asking for it, I felt like a musical first responder. Like, okay, let me do my part, and it gave me something to do. It gave me something to do during the pandemic. You know what I mean? So, and it was a little bit harder because everyone had to send in their parts remotely.
Yeah.
And I've never had to do that before. So it was very, very, very interesting, very hard, very awesome at the same time. You know what I mean? So it was all the things. So that's why that project really means something, this time around for sure.
I want to know a little bit about how you're selecting who you want to collab with. Obviously, you've had iconic collabs. You've had Erykah Badu, you've had Big Crit, Layla Hathaway. Like, the list goes on. How are you selecting who you want to work with and the sounds that you feel like will melt together well with you?
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of artists out there, and there's so many artists I have never worked with. So what I do, I like cast a big net. I make a list of just people I want to collaborate with. Some people I have before, maybe live, and maybe we just haven't done it on wax yet.
Yeah.
And there's some people that I've never collabed with before, and I never even met them. So I make a big list, knowing that half of that list won't happen. You know what I mean? So, and when I drag the net back in from the ocean, whoever's in there, I fine tune it from there. I
love that.
Yeah.
What are you looking for when you're looking for people to collab with?
I like people who have something honest and something honest to say. I love people who have an original style.
Yeah.
Some kind of original style about them, about their way, and just people that are open to try things and open, just be able to get in there and be uncomfortable a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't always like to do what the actual person does already. I like to have a little bit of what they do and a little bit of what I do and mix it together. You know?
Speaking of people who have something to say, I think of Black Superhero. I want to know a little bit about how that came together. Big Crit, BJ the Chicago Kid,
Killer Mike.
Mike, yep.
I mean, that became kind of like an anthem because, as a black kid, growing up, you don't realize at the time who your superheroes are, who the people who are influencing you in a real way are, because sometimes they're in the form of your lunch lady.
Yeah.
Or what I'm saying, your teacher at school, or you're the person who cuts your hair, your barber, just people that you realize are kind of telling you things, giving you mantras of hope, You know what I mean, and kind of steering you in a good direction. You know, and it's important for us to have that. You know, to help us. You know what I mean. So we kind of made that song. And it kind of speaks to that. And you don't know who would, like I said, superheroes aren't men in capes. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, what does that look like for you? Who is your superhero today?
My superheroes were, my superheroes were my mother. Because sometimes I look, now, especially even after I made that song, I look back on my life and I'm like, yo, this person was a this person, you realize you realize who was really important and influential for you at that time, which is where you are now. My aunt and my grandmother and my mom are like the staple superheroes, and then my dad too. You know what I mean? So it's like it's mostly females in my life.
Yeah,
my superheroes.
I love that.
That allowed me to be where I am, standing in front of you today. You know?
So good. When I think of some of the people that you've collaborated with, I imagine a lot of their fans might look at them as superheroes.
Absolutely.
In the mix and in the group of people that you've collaborated with, who stands out for you? I know, not to. I'm sorry, but like, who stands out for you, or what experience have you had that has kind of pushed you and grown you and stretched you?
That's a really hard one, but I mean, I gotta say, Amir Suleiman, the poet, the first thing you hear on Black Radio 3, is a poet, and he kind of changed my whole thought of poetry. You know what I mean? And I've had poets on my albums before, but it's something about the way he delivers, what he speaks, how he speaks about things, how he puts words together, and it's really genius. You know what I mean? And I love that I had him at the very beginning of the album to address all the elephants in the room of what was happening socially in the world and all kinds of things politically. You know, and so that's why on Black Radio 3, that's the first thing you hear. Then you hear Black Superhero, 'cause I just wanted to do a 1-2 punch, get those things out of the way. Like, hey, let's just go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you can start at track 3 if you like after. You know what I mean?
Can you tell me a little bit about kind of what jazz means to you, as cliche as that is? Obviously, you've spent a lot of your career redefining it, and opening up people's minds as to where it can go.
Yes. I mean, jazz music, what it's supposed to be a music of expression, a music without a box, a music of freedom, and a music that reflects the time period that you are in.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do, while also respecting the history of it, but not being held back by the history.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. Is there a particular song on your album that performs really well that you plan on bringing to life today here at ACL?
I think I might do Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yeah.
I redid that song with Layla Hathaway. And so we like to do that tune because that's a song that no matter what kind of music you like, you know that one.
Right, exactly. No, absolutely.
Any festival, it works. It works
You'll get
anywhere.
That crowd engagement.
Absolutely, all those things.
I feel like you and Layla working together continuously, like, just make magic. What does that look like in the studio for you guys?
It's so easy. She's the easiest person to work with, and the crazy thing about her is, she's so perfect without trying to be perfect. It's just everything she does is great. So everything's one take. Everything's one time.
Incredible.
That's why I don't have a lot of these Layla Hathaway outtakes. People are like, show me the take 2 and take 3. I'm like, we don't have any.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? She's just
incredible.
Pure magic every time, and it's amazing to work with, a joy to work with. She's so inspiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you think about who her dad is.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, oh my God. You know that I don't know that 1-2 punch to be like anywhere. That's the one. You know what I mean? Where it's like parent, child, but they both like
knock it out of the park.
Knock it out of the park for real? Nah.
Yeah.
That's very hard to come by.
Right. So we were kind of chatting briefly before we got on air about the Blue Note and your residency there.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the experience there.
Oh, man, this is awesome. So basically, I pretty much do like 5 to 6 weeks straight at the Blue Note with having very few days off, mostly Mondays off.
Yeah.
But I'm having Sunday off today.
Okay. Which is not really an off day.
Not really an off day, exactly. But it's cool because every week I have a few different bands, a few different special guests that I announce, and then it's just always the pull-ups, the people that just pop up that are unannounced, you know, that come through, and it's like, oh man, it's perfect. We had this week, Miguel popped up on me, Daly popped up on me, you know, Chris Rock popped up on us, you know, Questlove popped up, you know, it's just that's just the first week. It's only been 1 week, you know what I mean? And it ends up being just the place to be in New York for this month, you know what I mean?
Right.
it's always fun, and I never know what's going to happen. You know,
That's the beauty of it. The crowd doesn't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, and you just vibe.
And it's so funny. Sometimes I'm on my phone during the set. You know, like, because I know there are people like, yo, Rob, I'm coming through in 5 minutes. I'm on my
Crazy.
phone. Like, people are like, he's on his phone on
my
stage.
God.
Like, yeah, but watch this.
Right.
Wait about 10 minutes.
Oh man, that's amazing. What in the real world just speaks to you on a daily basis and kind of like pours into your music or seeps into your music?
Just the fact that, well, I don't take living for granted. You know, I've had a lot of people in my life pass away, especially around COVID time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the gratitude of being alive and being able to have a bad day. You know what I mean? Being able to have a bad day is a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
Even
yep.
that. You know what I mean? So I just take that. And I live with that, and I just appreciate everything. You know? So many things are inspirational because of that for me. You know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a moment at all while you're out here in Texas to go home or to just like do some Texas things?
No, I leave in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I leave in the morning. I go back, and I got to start the residency again. So
Crazy.
I won't get. I'll probably come back to Texas in December, around Christmas time or something, to visit some family and stuff like that.
Gotcha. What does rest look like for you? Because I feel like you're that person who's always doing something and always doing something big. It's true.
You say what does what look like?
Rest look like for you?
Wrestling?
Rest.
Oh, rest.
He's like, I don't even know what that is.
Look, you said it. I didn't even understand the word. I thought you were speaking another
He's like,
language.
I don't do that.
What word? What language is that? I know. It comes in different forms for me. I think I've learned, because I also have like a 2-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? So like, rest doesn't really exist for me much, but you know, I just take the little bits I can. I take the plane ride, you know, I take that. I take, you know, when I'm on tour, and that little downtime I have when I'm on tour, you know, after a sound check or after a show, I take those times, and you know, so I don't hang out as much as I used to, you know what I mean, because my schedule has gotten much more crazy. So that hotel sleep time, it means something.
For sure. Greatest advice you would give your little girl if she wanted to get into music?
Make sure everybody knows that Robert Glass was your papa. Don't mess with you. You know what I mean? If she wants to get into music, the best advice I would give her is navigate as if I'm not your father.
That's so good.
Really, really, really practice your craft and be as great as you can at your craft, and really take it seriously. Don't feel like you can be halfway, because I'm going to make up the other half for you. You know what I mean? When I heard Chris Rock say something. He's like, you know, when you see somebody standing by their car and the car's broken down, you're less likely to get out to help them. But if you see somebody pushing their car, you're most likely to get out and try to help them, because you see that they're trying. You know what I mean?
So good.
Absolutely.
That's so good. You left us on a word. Thank you so much, Robert.
Absolutely.
This was
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure.
I appreciate
Good luck
it.
with everything out here at
Yes.
ACL.